Chafing Armor Podcast, Episode 87, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. Today, we open with a nightfall. A night has fallen over Zintil Keep, the old city of the north, ruled by Hyboria, rich in some areas, and not so rich in others. Where we open is just a few miles from the Bobcat's Paw, residential area of somewhat well-to-do merchants. A slightly faded white and brick house is settling in for the night. It is still, it is dark, and there's the very slight sound of glass breaking. And a voice calls out, and it says, "Can't you be more quiet?" And what are you going to say?
Shh.
And if anyone else was listening, and they are not, they would hear the perfect hissing sound of someone whispering for quiet. And you and your partner slowly make your way through the second floor window. This is the hallway. Imagine a long hallway with bed chambers to each side, and there is a small reception room at the very end. That is where you are going. Do you want to check for traps?
Aye.
Give me that roll.
Okay, that's a flat 16.
A flat 16. So you look left, you look right, your sharp eyes piercing through the darkness. As they do, you feel a slight itch on your right ankle that you ignore as you look into the darkness and see it perfectly. And you look for tiny wires, you look for runes that might be etched into the wall, but you don't see anything. You don't see anything that would indicate a trap. And how are you going to let your partner know that this is the case? The sound of affirmative knocking is heard.
Exactly.
Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Is softly, very softly whispered into the night as you creep your way down. And I would also like you to make a I've got to learn my new skills to ask you for. What is your...
Move silently?
Sneak? Move silently, thank you. I was looking for sneak, but it was the M, so it's move silently. Yes, please.
That's a... 30?
30. Well, there's a reason for that, as the shadows themselves that are falling through the windows are making more sound than you do. Your partner is also very quiet. However, he is not as quiet as you. And as y'all pass by where the staircase opens downstairs, at the opposite side of the staircase is a huge mirror, both to make the upstairs look larger and also to hopefully show off the family's wealth, you would think, if they were throwing a party downstairs. And as you pass by, you see your partner. You see a tiefling with scarred horns, rough at the edges. He has lithe, strong muscles. And that tiefling, Ineskia, and what I forget from the description. What color is his skin?
It's very dark red. In sunlight, you can see a dull red color to it, but in darkness, it would be quite black, actually.
Okay. In full daylight, he would have a dark, rusty, dark red skin, but at night he just looks like the devil himself walks in black shape. And Ineskia turns to you and signals you forward to check the final door that you're heading to, that reception room, for any traps or locks. And as you pass by the mirror, you cannot help but turning and looking at yourself and tell the viewers, tell the listeners what they see.
In the shadows, dim light pouring from the moonlight from the windows, stands a feathered figure in a cloak with leather armor on, darkened leather armor. You could swear it would be a raven, were it not for the fact that it had arms instead of wings, and tiny, beady little red eyes peek out from underneath the hood. There's some stray feathers can be seen. Otherwise, a fairly nondescript looking creature.
And as this tiefling and Kinku make their way down the hall silently, quietly, you know you are not being heard. You make your way to the final door, and I would like you to... I'm sorry, you check it. We'll go with that check from before. As far as you can tell, it is not trapped, but it is definitely locked. So if you would like to open it, I would like you to pick the lock, please.
Let us go with the lockpick. Right, now. I have thieves' tools, so there's no penalty to picking this lock. There's no bonus either that I know of, because that comes with masterwork tools. So I don't need to take a penalty for that. So open lock. Oh, okay. Yeah, so move silently, open lock, hide are my best skills. Obviously, being the stealthy little man that I am. So that's a that's a 32.
32. And you find that this lock is a very good quality lock. This was some gold was invested in this lock, but it is not magical, and it is not the kind that would protect the king's bedroom. So after a few moments of silence, and I would imagine you may even make some little noises to yourself. What do you think those noises would be?
They would be the sounds of picks in a lock. Just the very small sounds of picks going into a lock and moving the teeth around. Just very almost imitating the exact sounds coming out of the lock as it's being picked.
And
like an echo.
Almost, and you can tell that Ineskia is almost a little off-put by the stereo effect of this. But it helps you concentrate, and then there's that satisfying as the final tumbler undoes and the door clicks open. He
turns and looks at Ineskia and makes the exact same sound.
He smiles at you and mutters something about show off. I need to make a quick roll here, just a very simple save versus death. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so as you turn to walk in, you feel feather-like hands on your belt, and you know exactly what is happening. Ineskia is trying to lift your pouch and steal your pouch while you're distracted. But he rolled a 2, so you are aware of it.
Okay. Without giving away I know what's going on, slightly rotate my body around and attempt to pick his own pouch off him.
Okay. Now, unless you're doing something to distract him, that would be a disadvantage because he is aware of you.
Hmm.
He's looking right at you, so that would be with disadvantage,
Okay. We'll
unless
go
you're
with
doing
it.
something to distract him.
Well, I'm going to use sleight of hand.
Okay.
Um, so
Well, I'm saying the
I
circumstances
yeah
are he's looking right at you.
yeah. Well, that's
So,
what I'm saying is imagine someone standing behind me as I'm going through the door.
mhm,
So what I would do is I would rotate around sideways, keeping my back to him,
mhm.
and as I move past him, just sort of moving my hand down to take one of his pouches, sort of like giving him a view of the room.
Okay, no,
Whilst,
I would totally allow that. You're turning yourself to
yeah,
face back toward him where
ostensibly,
you're
what I'm
pointing.
doing is making way so that he can see into the room I just unlocked,
Okay, okay.
but at the same
So go ahead.
time, trying to take one of his pouches because he just tried to take one of mine.
Okay, that would definitely be a sleight of hand.
Okay, yep, that's 16 on the die plus 5, so 21.
Gotcha. So with a 21, what you do is he doesn't get your belt, but he has to kind of move his hand so that he doesn't give away what he's doing, even though he doesn't realize you realized it.
Mhm.
So he shifts down, which causes his right hip to move up. And so what you do is, as you turn, you let your hand go up, and you lift off. What are you going to steal from him?
Just one of his belt pouches.
Okay.
Probably the one where he carries his coin.
Okay, gotcha. Which is even more impressive, since obviously that's the one that makes noise. But you are able to, and there's just the faintest little ching as you take it from him. As he makes his way into the room and looks around, you realize that he forgot to check for traps, which is something that you always have to remind him, but he's forgotten. But apparently, either the something silent has been set off, or there were, but you didn't really expect there to be so much. But you do see what y'all have come for, which is bolted to the ground with iron, is a chest in the corner. It's not hidden. It's an official chest, and a rich person might have this kind of chest for official documents and things like that.
The very faintest sound of like the bell at an inn that you used to get the attention, like the ding ding. The very faintest sound of that can be heard, and my character points at the chest, like the whole ding ding bingo.
Okay, he says, I'll keep guard, and I want you to get that open and make sure it's nothing that's gonna blow up in your face.
Aight. As I pass him, I will hold up his coin pouch and smirk, and then drop it into his open palm and head to the chest.
He just shakes his head slowly, and he goes, "That's one for you. That's one." And he just smiles and chuckles to himself. So you see him unsheath his dagger, and he has a hand crossbow that's attached to his belt, but he's got it. He just kind of shifts a little bit so that he can easily pull it from the loop if need be. And he goes to keep an eye on the door. And you approach the chest. What would you like to do?
Okay, so first of all, I have trap sense, and trap sense means I can use my search ability to find traps that have a DC 20 or higher.
Okay.
So if there are any traps that are DC 20 or higher, I can use the search skill to find them.
Okay. So you do not immediately find anything that is DC 20 or higher.
Okay.
Would you now? You still need to check for traps.
Yes, I will check for traps. That's a 17 on the die.
Okay. You absolutely find a trap. It is a simple trap, but a very effective. It is both, you think, meant to deliver a needle of some kind, of either a poison or a stun, You don't know what. You can see the triggering mechanism, and it also almost certainly will trigger some kind of magical alarm, either silent or audible.
Okay.
You've definitely seen things like this before.
Yeah, it's actually pretty common. I mean, the silent alarm thing's a bit costly, but the needle delivery seems pretty common.
It is. It really is.
I guess we'll disable device. See if we can give this a shot. Nice. That's a 14 on the die, 15, 16, 17.
Okay. So you get in there. It's the same type, the same thieves' tools that you use to open the door, and you're able to just very gently, ping, and you see the needle just spring out, and now you can easily remove it. Probably not touching it to be safe. A little piece of cloth or with gloves on.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we will take it out very delicately. What I might do is I'm going to... Actually, no. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to leave it where it is.
Okay.
And because I may be able to reset the trap, which will help our escape if, it'll look better once we steal what's inside here to that they didn't trigger the trap, like it's but the thing inside is gone, which will confuse people.
Well, it would, and it could potentially put doubt on someone who lives there.
Exactly.
Or someone who knows them, who would have access to it.
Someone who knows how to turn the trap on and off or whatever. So yeah. That's the thought.
And because of this disarming, that you are now able to open it. It is actually not locked because it's trapped. And the assumption was that if anyone who tried to open this would either die or be knocked unconscious, you don't know what's on that needle. But it is not locked. You are able to open it.
Think what I'll do. See, we're in a fairly rich area, and we already have a trapped chest. But just because it's trapped on the outside doesn't mean it's not trapped on the inside. I'm going to pull out one of my daggers. It's these nice little custom... They're standard daggers, but the hilts are kind of customized. They're like black leather wrapped, but the leather has kind of been cut into tiny little semicircles to indicate what look like feathers, and the very pommel is kind of carved into the shape of a raven's head. And he has two of those. He's using one of them to kind of get in under the rim of this chest and just kind of move it around, just to see if he can kind of feel any like possible like triggers inside. Very gently. See if he can find any triggers inside. So if he pulls the lid up, he's not going to snap something and end up with a face full of gas.
Okay. So you're kind of leaning back as you move it open. And there's a moment where you think you have set off the trap because very unexpectedly to you, light. You suddenly see light and your brain translate that to explosion, and this is an explosion. It's light, but no, it is actual light that someone has very cleverly cast a simple light spell so that when this chest is opened, it lights up from the inside. It's a faint light. It's not like a blazing light. But
It's not a
so you can
spotlight.
See right.
Not the bat signal.
But it absolutely illuminates the inside of the chest, and you can see what is inside.
We've broken into someone's fridge.
And you immediately feel it is kind of like a fridge. You find the toaster strudels, and you find some slightly old grapes and
some Eggos with property of 11 written on the side.
That's right. Exactly. And as you look inside, you feel the presence of Ineskia behind you as he's looking over too. He can't help himself. He's like, because this is what y'all came for. You had it on very good authority from your fence that some choice magical items had come into the possession of this house, and that the owners would be gone. And so this was just the perfect opportunity. There have been some shipments back and forth from Massgate, and the word is that there's something really sweet here, and that if y'all can lay your hands on it, it would be very helpful. Inside, you see 2 small leather pouches. One of them has 10 platinum pieces in it. The other one has 50 gold in it. And they're just, you can tell they're just stacked just so. Like it's hard for you to imagine the kind of life that you've led to have 50 platinum and never spend it, you know? But these are clearly like there for emergencies or for official business. You know, that's their purpose, is to be here.
Oh yeah, platinum is, each one's 100 gold pieces. That's it's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of money.
No. It is.
There's a lot of money in here. There's a lot.
Yeah. But that is not the reason that you've come here. It's for the supposedly the other item. There are 3 different scrolls in here. You have no idea whether these are the magical kind or scrolls, because obviously rich people also have lots of documents. They could just as easily be those as well.
This is their insurance policies or something. Who knows?
Who knows? It could be, title for this house, or agreements with a shipping company. Any number of things. And then resting on a bed of satin, literally just laying on satin, is half of a staff. And you don't need any, magic sense the way you can with traps, that this item is very, you suspect that this is a very magical item. And it just has that look about it. But it is half of a staff.
The same sound comes out again. The sound of an in-bell. It's a little louder this time. He can't really help himself. He's a bit excited at having come across essentially jackpot. His information was correct. So there's a ding ding.
Now, Ineskia told you earlier that he had heard a rumor. That this is not confirmed. This is how the rumor mill works in criminal underbellies. Is that the word is that there is a buyer across the Sand Swallow Sea that would pay 10,000 gold for this. Now, that is not confirmed, and there's also a lot of other dumb rumors that get spread from across the sea. So, neither of you believe that 100%, but you also don't not believe it.
I mean, this is I put about as much stock in that as I do about those tales of the walking hut.
Yes, exactly.
That hut with chicken feet. Who believes that crap?
Exactly.
Like, come on.
No matter how much people sing it at the end.
Right?
It's very popular.
I don't understand it, but yeah. It's magical. It looks really expensive. We're going to take it because it's what we're here for. But I honestly don't think it's worth 10,000 gold, especially not from some guy across the sea. Why not sell it here? We have a Mages Guild here, right? I don't actually know, but yeah, someone there would probably want it. It's a head of a staff. Like, wizards like that junk. Let's give it to a wizard.
They love it. They just love it. Love them. Now, this is not me trying to metagame or to, trap you or anything. Do you think your character would grab the staff with their bare hands?
No. He's specifically because magic is not something you generally tend to play around with. It looks like a half of a broken wizard staff, but just because it's broken doesn't mean it ain't magical still. So he's probably gonna. How big is this little satin thing that's around it? Like, is it big enough that he can grab the corners and just kind of wrap it around it and then
I would say yes. I would say it's kind of like folded and everything to look all pretty to like kind of prop it up.
Mhm.
So if you just kind of carefully took the corners and took a moment, you definitely could probably wrap it all the way up. You
Probably
suspect
do
that
that.
this staff would be probably just it's probably about 2.5 feet long. Yeah, you think the staff probably was about 5 feet, a little over 5 feet long. So
Mhm.
it's about 2.5 feet. And this is a big chest,
Yeah,
so it's able to fit
yeah,
inside.
yeah. It's kind of a
Um,
footlocker kind of thing.
exactly. It's if you think about the thing, they put it like the foot of a bed in the old days, but really fancy and bolted to the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah, he'd probably do his best he could to wrap up the whole thing in the satin that it's in.
Hmm.
Um, you
Yeah,
know,
and I
it's
totally buy that. With your character is very cautious.
it just makes sense because
Hmm.
you don't screw with magic. You just don't.
Yep.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing. I can read a scroll
Hmm.
and I can copy the scroll down perfectly. I can't do anything about the scroll, which is interesting, but I have the ability to read it. I have the ability to copy it down perfectly. I'm a forger by nature. I can imitate everything perfectly. But just because I can do that doesn't mean I can cast magic or trust magic. It's just you don't do that. So yeah, he would probably wrap it up in the satin tightly as best he could, tying it up in areas, and then kind of stick it in one of his side loops on his belt. Just kind of make sure that it's not getting in the way of anything.
Okay.
Um,
As you're
yeah.
doing that, you kind of ruffle the scrolls a little bit. Again, this is not me getting you in trouble. Just part of moving this fabric around.
Yep.
You actually unlodge underneath one of the scrolls is a simple silver frame. Inside of it is a very intricate portrait. In today's parlance, it would be like a 5x7, very standard size. But it's actually it's meant to be small. It's meant to, like you could technically like carry this in your chest pocket.
This is pure silver, though, right?
Yes, the frame is pure silver, and then the portrait inside, showing a beautiful elf woman, very very thin and slender as elves tend to be, and a slightly stouter, like middle-aged human woman, and then the human woman is holding a child, probably about 2 years old, and they are looking, into the quote unquote camera for the portrait, but the silver is definitely valuable.
Oh yeah, we're taking that. Like that,
Uh-huh.
we're pinching that. That it's pure silver. Come on.
And I do have to ask, though it's silly for me to do so. Are you going to take the gold and the platinum?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to rinse this place. I mean, there's nobody here, so at least according to the word of the rumors, there's nobody here. We've got what we came for. There's the bonus of the platinum and the gold. Has Iniskia seen both of these things? Like, or would it be possible for him to have only seen the gold, and I could sort of secret away the platinum? And
you can try. You can try to make a sleight of hand check, but I would, again, I would definitely say it would be a disadvantage because you're trying to hide something in plain sight, and it's possible that he didn't, because these are in pouches, so it's possible that he didn't see what was inside them. But
it's worth a shot. Yeah,
you certainly could try.
I'll give it a shot. The platinum ones, I'll try and I'll just kind of try and secret them out, and as I'm doing so, I'll pass him the bag of gold, 50 gold coins, I believe you said.
Yeah, it was 50 gold coins.
And just kind of as maybe a little bit of a distraction technique. I've got the 10 platinum. There's not many coins in this one. You can have the one with lots of coins in it. That's a nat 20 plus 5, so 25.
Okay. So what you do is you actually so there's a sleight of hand called a shuttle pass, and that's where you take a coin from one hand and just very naturally you literally throw it and catch it with the other hand, and it looks magical if you're not expecting it. So what you do is you actually throw the one of the gold coins on top of the platinum, and so it looks like you're handing him the 50 gold, and that you're keeping the stack of ostensibly 10 gold.
Yep.
So you're hiding the 10 platinum underneath one gold piece. And so that's your sleight of hand that you just flawlessly, like a magic trick,
Nice.
did it, and you hand it over to him.
I honestly would not have thought of that because I'm not a magician, so I'm glad you kind of with your actual magicianship were like, I know exactly how to get you to pass this one.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with sleight of hand. So you successfully do so, and you smile to yourself. Do you want to take the scrolls or not? They're a little bulky, but you could fit them in your pack.
Do they have any wax seals on them that I can see that I can possibly recognize?
One of them is sealed, and you do see that it is a royal seal. The other two are just closed.
Okay. Okay. See, if I had more time, I would want to take the sealed one, unseal it, see what it is, and forge a perfect copy. But we don't have enough time for that, so... Yeah, let's take them. They got to be worth something to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the odds are high, given where you're stealing them from.
Yes.
And you successfully, stow those in your respective packs, and you turn, and standing right in front of you in the middle of the room, not at the door where he was supposed to be guarding, but he went over to look at the stuff. Ineski did not see either. You both turn at the same time and see a 10-year-old girl just staring at you. She is in the middle of the room. I would like you to do just a real quick spot check for me.
Okay. That's 17. Sorry, okay. 16. I can count.
Okay. With the 16, it's not like it's super hidden. It's just in this brief moment. You can see that one of the small chairs that's like almost ornamental has been moved, and it looks like she came through a secret passage in the wall. Which, you're just like, well, I was not expecting that. And she appears to have climbed through it, and she is just staring at you. She has dusky skin and tightly curled hair, and she greatly resembles that 2-year-old that you saw in the portrait. That is currently in your pack.
Okay. Thinking quickly. Okay. What's Ineski up to right now?
He is looking at the girl, and then he immediately looks to the door, like expecting an attack. Mm-hmm. And then when he doesn't see anything, he turns back to the girl, and you see this just big grin come over his face, like he's trying to put on the charm. The problem is he is a tiefling, and
so he looks terrifying.
Exactly. So you imagine this dark demonic face going,
yeah. Oh yeah, he's got dark skin, but he's got perfectly white teeth and a nice pink inside to his mouth. He looks terrifying when he smiles, especially when he's got the slightly elongated fangs of infernal heritage. He and horns and the red eyes. He's just he's. So we've got probably about 2 or 3 seconds before she notices him smiling and screams. If that. So, okay.
Yeah, you realize what is happening.
Oh yeah.
So you need to do something, or what you think is going to happen is very likely going to happen.
Oh yeah. Let's do a quick. Okay, so this town gets a lot of traveling entertainers, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
including circus performers.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're like the most common thing in the world, but it totally you totally get traveling performers. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a one called Archibald's Flying Circus that came through a few years ago.
What is there anything around me that I can quickly grab to juggle?
Not super well. I would say that there is a few candle holders you could juggle, but it would be a disadvantage. They would be really awkward. There's not like, little balls or small round objects. But you could try to do something with the candle holders. They're kind of stubby.
I think what we'll do is, just thinking on the topic, it's a small child. It's probably going to be really easy to entertain. So we're going to make noises like the music of a traveling performance troupe. Very dim, like not really loud, like sort of just above a whisper so that she can hear it coming out of my mouth. While at the same time sort of juggling these candlesticks. The thought is, it's not a very smart one, but the thought is she'll think we're just circus entertainers. That's what we're here for, especially considering we have the big man with the horns and stuff, and the feather man who can juggle and make cool sounds out of his mouth. Maybe she'll be, and she won't scream the house down.
So what I would like is for you to make a performance check, and I would like you to make it a disadvantage because you are under very adverse circumstances.
Okay. So my first one is a 17 plus 18.
Okay.
And my second is the same. What?
So with an 18, that's what. Hey, disadvantage sometimes just works out.
So take the lowest of the two. Yeah, the lowest of the two was the same.
That's how random chance works. You grab those holders, and they are awkward as heck. They are different shapes. They are different weights, and you still pull it off. And even of course, it does help that you have full dark vision. And you begin juggling. And what kind of sounds are coming out of your mouth?
So just the sounds of like the performance, the bards at a performance.
Okay.
Like the music that the if in modern parlance it'd be the typical but those sounds just kind of coming out just to look at the funny feathered man who's juggling and making cool sounds out of his mouth. Don't scream, don't scream, don't scream, don't scream. That kind of thing.
So Ineskia rolls an 18 on his persuasion, and because of your good performance, he's not at disadvantage, and he says, "Oh, I'm so glad." Excuse me, I'm getting my accents mixed up. I'm so glad that you were able to come and see our secret performance. I can't believe that you're going to be the first to see the amazing juggling kinku. What do you think? And you see him like slowly moving like a little closer to her, but he's gesturing to you to put all the focus and attention on you. And she kind of narrows her eyes and she says, "Why are you performing in our living room?" And he says, "Oh, well, we have to get permission from important people like you. There are permits. There are all sorts of things that we have to do in order to get permission. We, of course, have come to offer you very good seats for our opening night, and we want you to be the star. What's your name, little girl?" She says, "My name's Petniak. My mom calls me Pet." He goes, "Well, Pet, little pet, you are going to love the show. Just look at what this here funny little bird can do." And he looks over to you like, more?
What else have I got? Okay. I will gently put the still making the noises. Gently put the one at a time, like juggling, and then and in that spectacular boof boof boof. Put the candlesticks back where I got them from.
Mm-hmm.
Take out my rope and make quote unquote balloon animals with the rope. So using tying my rope into different configurations and showing them to it, like, look, a puppy, or like a Tarrasque, or
I would actually pay full money to see someone make a rope Tarrasque. I would pay full market price for that. Give me a roll without disadvantage.
It's a 19.
A 19, and somehow, and I'm assuming that, like, as you make the dog, you make little dog noises.
Yep.
And such. And she is enthralled. I mean, you see her eyes just light up, and you think, part of you thinks, maybe I missed my calling here, because she just is all over that, and
guess
just is just enthralled, and she says, "That is amazing. I am so glad that you're going to perform, and I'm sure that you'll be able to explain it all to the men." And with that, the front door, BAM! Bangs open, and you hear shouts, and you hear chainmail, and you hear plate mail as the unmistakable sound of the city guard come barreling in through the front door. And you see now in her, she's holding an oversized stuffed bugbear. It's a stuffed bugbear. But you see as she turns slightly that a small stone with a glyph on it that's glowing slightly. And you realize that probably before she even came in here, she pressed that. And
we got snitched on by medieval Teddy Ruxpin.
You absolutely did.
We got nanny camped.
And the door flies open, and you see from behind, as you look down out of the corner of your eye in the hall, you can see that middle-aged stout woman, the human. She's in her dressing gown, and she's got a dagger in her hand, and she's looking around with she didn't know. And the guards come just funneling up the stairs, and they say, "By order of the king, you are under arrest!" And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor. Thank you for playing, Lee.
Thank you.
More about this character, and for more, perhaps even revealing his name at some point, please keep listening to Chafing Armor. Lee, can you tell me just one place that you might be able to listen to Chafing Armor?
Sure. You can hear us on YouTube.
That is right. YouTube. We have our wonderful listeners on YouTube. Duke being the most frequent commenter on there, but we have other commenters, and we love our YouTube listeners. So feel free, if you like to listen to podcasts on YouTube, we have a channel just for you.
Even some of the players.
Oh, yes.
We some of us will sometimes comment.
Oh, yes. We have been known
well.
to. I often will respond directly, and some of the other wonderful players like Lee will often reply as well. I often will respond directly, and some of the other wonderful players like Lee will often reply as well. And we just love interacting with our fans, and you never know, just like Duke became the Grand Duke Vigilfist, you never know when commenting on our various platforms may involve you becoming part of Chafing Armor. So good night, Lee.
Good night.
Good night, everyone, and we will roll with you soon.